Hello. In this video, I want to talk about burnout, internet addiction, and recovery. So, getting burned out in art can be pretty easy. Not always if you have been doing it for a long time, but sometimes it does happen. Sometimes, no matter what you do for long periods of time, you eventually get to the point in which you never want to do it again. And that's not really the case. Like, sometimes you just hit the point of exhaustion and you need to step away, or you need to exercise, or you just need to clear your mind of it. And, I try to set time to grind, I try to set time to draw for fun, I try to set time for practice. And I always thought the important thing about burnout is, one, finding a way out of it. So I guess you could say getting relit. And you may have to break yourself out of a rut. So if you're doing the same thing again and again and again, or even if you're doing like grinding, which is usually the same thing again and again and again to get better experience at drawing, I look at burnout as something that can be avoided, but you kind of have to understand the signs before you reach burnout. You need to understand when you're starting to get exhausted, when you're not starting to draw right, when you're starting not to think right. Eliminating distractions is another important thing. Sometimes when I draw, I like to listen to either like a podcast or something, and I realize that that's probably not the best thing for me. But if I'm drawing for fun, I will do it. But in general, that's usually not the best thing for us, as it's very distracting. But sometimes I end up enjoying myself more, and I'm like, okay, I'll go with it. But I think in the end, it's not the best thing to do. So the other thing I wanted to talk about is internet addiction. And the thing about internet addiction is we live in a very, we live in a world, well, I live in a world, we all live in a world, I hope we all live in a world, we live in a world where every platform, no matter what it is fixated on making you an addict. And clearly, like, I've seen videos on the internet talking about it, but if you truly look at the way all of the algorithms serve content to you, I mean, heck, me being a programmer myself, knowing how they design these algorithms to be as addicting as possible is something to be really cautious of. And it's not your fault. Like, I think kind of the issue now is that there are no rules. Like, there were times when the internet was more of a wild west, but I feel like now, more than ever, it's a wild west of addiction. And everyone's trying to make the platform, like, to be as addicting as possible, to make you on as long as possible. It doesn't care about you. It only cares if you're on and if you're viewing advertisements. And stuff like that can really take you away from art and drawing. It could really take your attention span away. And I would say one of the main issues of it is mindlessly scrolling. And I've seen myself doing this. And it's very interesting that I could, well, at least I know it's happening, because a lot of these platforms, like, it's kind of weird. Like, if I want to wake up in the morning, I feel like more often than not, I'm waking up because I feel like I have to scroll through something. Like, I can't, it's not enough for me to just, like, wake up, get out of bed, and go through my normal wake-up routine, but it's like, first thing I have to do is I have to check my phone, and I have to check all these different things, and it's like, it has me trained well. Um, Numbers, if they mean success to you, are probably incredibly important, or you're looking for some type of thing. And it gets everyone into this whole process of being on your phone and you're not even thinking why you're on your phone, you're just on your phone chronically. I mean, I found myself in this position multiple times in different ways throughout the years. And it's really concerning to me because I could only imagine the number it's doing on my attention span. There are always things I'm trying to do, like meditation, to help regain some of my attention span. But it's just the fact that we always have to be connected. And also for work. Work is important, but that's kind of like another thing that wants you to be chronically thinking about them. And it's not popular to say you have to think about yourself, but you do. Sometimes I have to monitor social media for work, and even though it's not really my job, but I do it to help out and just look to help my colleagues or my coworkers. And even doing stuff like that is probably not the best for your mind, because it's like you're all over the place all the time with it. So I didn't talk about recovery yet. And recovery is a tough thing, because you kind of have to admit that you have some sort of addiction before you could try to enter any type of recovery. And I'm not saying you don't have to go on any of these platforms ever again, but I think it is important that like you yourself know that you're not addicted. And I think the road to recovery when it comes to drawing and art is to use 25 minutes. I talked about this as the Pomodoro technique, in which when you are drawing, you don't let anything distract you. You're very careful with preventing anything from distracting you in any way. Easier said than done, because it takes a lot of time until you can do this, but if you do the Pomodoro technique, then you take a 5-minute break, I think it can work out and you can regain your attention span for drawing or an art. And it's something very important to keep in mind. And a lot of this may take you a long time, so sometimes you may end up going back into the internet addiction loop, because that's kind of the way it's all designed now. I wouldn't be surprised if way in the future there's going to be like some rule or law that says, yeah, you can't do this. You're taking away too much from people. I could be wrong, but that's just my guess. Can't say for sure, but I know that like many European countries have certain laws to protect people from it, but where I am from and live, we are all free game. But I mean, they're also providing a platform for free at the expense of we pay for it in internet addiction and viewing ads. I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, that's just kind of the reality. So yeah, I hope this kind of touches upon it. I would say the last big thing to trying to really get out of this is to really love what you do, to really be excited to do what you do, and to pretty much become addicted to drawing and art. That's really what I would say would be the best method to it. I mean, and understanding when you're getting close to burnout, and understanding that you can recover from it. I think it's very important that from all of this, you always can recover. Always keep that in the back of your head, that it's not a hopeless that you can. So I hope this kind of talks about just something I had on my mind and I wanted to talk about. If you have a question, please ask in the comments. If you like the video, please like it. And if you like my channel, please subscribe. Thank you very much for listening. Bye.